God, how we really going there? Because we could go there. Like,
You got wine.
I mean, like,
Mhm.
I think the most problematic was, and shout out to Babsy. Yeah, Babsy's still around, but I think we are all in our separate lanes. And we've all created our own niche. So shout out to Babsy. Yes, she is definitely still around.
Did she?
Um,
That's what she asked. Is Babsy still around in a sense?
yes, she
That's
is. She is, and she's
yes,
doing her thing, and
okay,
she's large
okay.
in her own way. So shout out to Babsy. Um, I think the most problematic, and I could say this now, we've gone through enough legal, the legalities of it, was Machel Montano.
Okay.
And so um, we literally had to go to court because
Oh, you
yes,
want to be a man?
yes, we had to go to court because um, I never told the story. You get like, let me tell
You
you.
want to take a drink first before you go?
I just
Cheers to the queen. And there goes.
tell them share this live, and then I go tell you story. We're not
So
just
let's share
not,
this live. Share this live. You don't want to miss this before because this is real bacchanal here, as we
it's
say. This
not
is
bacchanal. No, we're not doing that. This is not bacchanal. This is fact and truth.
well,
Bacchanal is when somebody
it's a
can't call
bacchanal,
a
but it's
name and they can't. Nah, this is not bacchanal. This is truth. You hearing it
it's a
from?
truth. So
Yeah.
listen, this is a true thing that's happening here, and this is something that if we didn't know or we wondered about, this is clarity for it right here. This is where if you wondered about something, this is what is good. This is it right here. So this is like an exclusive right now.
It
It,
is like I haven't spoken about this publicly. No, so you get an exclusive.
this
Um,
is an exclusive right now, and it's an exclusive. It's people. It's an exclusive. It is an exclusive right now, and just because I know it's an exclusive, I'm at Chad. If you're on there, yes, honey. If you're on there, and you can get onto the people on the Instagram, but no, we can't. So I'm sorry. We're gonna have to get this after because we're about to go down. Let me take this drink, honey, because we are already down. Don't come to me.
so
And
yeah,
I love it.
I,
Thank you so much for about to share this. So y'all share this live, share it, share it, because we're about to get into it right now with the queen herself.
and clarification. This is not
It's
bacchanal.
clarification right now.
It's not bacchanal. I
So
think
he just
people.
shared it 2 times. You see, so he just shared it 2 times. So we gonna get this clarity. Let me not say bacchanal. You all know I like that word. Let's just say it's a clarification
Yes,
right now. Of
yes,
what's going on. It's a
it's a
clarity
revelation for some. Even it's not
and a
bacchanal.
revelation for some people and a clarification for people like myself.
I would preface by saying, we gotta know people by their works, right? And talents and character are two different things. Not because someone is super talented and you think they could dance really well or sing really well or perform really well means that off stage they are of good character, right? And I think we romanticize, especially in the Caribbean, as globally too, but we romanticize soca artists and dancehall artists and reggae artists and like performers, and we somehow separate do not separate the man or the woman from the talent, because some people off stage are not good people, right? Some people off stage, they're on stage, it could be the most beloved, and just they could sing so sweet and treat you so nice on stage, and when they get off stage they're cussing their mothers, they're beating up their managers, beating up their women, like call a thing. And I'm making generalized statements right now, okay. um but yeah, I think the most problematic, coming off that question, was asked, do I regret a blog post? No, I don't regret anything I've ever written. It's all part of my story. I don't regret any part of my life. But that Marshall era was definitely goes down in Jayblessed history. And
Okay.
I think it's because at that time, again, you can't be covering Caribbean entertainment news and not cover Machel Montano.
True.
But you have to be fair. Not only am I saying that you're, publishing that you're winning Road March, but which not Road March, but Soca Morning, which we knew was kind of like, first of all, you and the prime minister are real buddy on helicopter rides with the prime minister, and then all of a sudden, they announced this $2 million cash prize, and you've never been in the Calypso Morning before. I mean, Soca Morning before, and then you jump in, and then you win, and then you win, and then I mean, like. It just, pick sense out of nonsense. Anyway, so I was also covering all his accomplishments, all his videos, all his music. I was, I was covering all the good, and I was covering all the things that were negative, because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm covering, that Zen altercation, that assault case that was going. I was covering that, and some people only want you to write good stories about them, but when you are a celebrity, then it comes with the territory, right? And you're the biggest celebrity out of Trinidad. So what happened one time was Machel Montano's camp had issued a statement on their official website, on his official website, stating that a press release, okay? A full press release that he would be performing at the White House, President Barack Obama's White House, okay? So it was posted on the official Machel Montano website, and of course, everyone is now taking that, and people are sharing it, and like websites are sharing it, newspapers. I'm not sure if newspapers had shared it yet, but I know websites did. Mm-hmm. And then they had to quickly retract it. So the statement was that Machel Montano would be performing at the White House during, I think, Caribbean American Heritage Month, right? Okay. I can't remember the year, maybe 2012, probably. I can't remember. And they had to retract it. And so they're going around now trying to get people to pull the stories off, websites. And they come to me, pull the story. I ain't not pulling no story. Y'all publish the shit. I'm not pulling the story. I'm going to
refuse to back up. You refuse to pull it?
Hell yeah. Why? I'm not going to pull it because of a mistake you made. So I wrote another story that Machel Montano camp wants to pull the story. Was he really ever going to be performing at the White House? Was this a publicity stunt? Why are they not performing now? Did he jump the gun? Like blah blah. They didn't really like that much, and so I became public enemy number one. Public enemy number one. I've even heard that certain family members within the Montano camp was blaming Jayblessed for him not performing at the White House.
Wow.
Him not getting a award. I mean, like real bullshit, right? Until there was a boat ride a few years after that I had a VIP band for. I was a member of the press. I'm there, and I'm going on record to say Machel Montano saw me, knew I was there, and somehow sent a security guard over to tell me that I needed to leave. And I'm like, I'm not aware of that happening first, but the security guard comes over to tell me I need to leave. I'm like, I have a VIP band. Why am I leaving for? There are people here that don't even have a band. Why are they here? You have to leave. And physically grabs me to pull me out of the VIP area. And what? And this is after I just take a picture with Patrice Roberts, the same, Patrice Roberts, who had now changed her whole fashion game because of Jayblessed.com. I'm going on record to say that. Okay, like that, I got receipts. Okay. And so people used to grab me, and I push him off me. Like, first of all, wait, why are you grabbing me for? Why are you being so violent towards me? Security guard reaches back and slaps me violently in my face.
Yeah.
And I dropped to the floor. I actually came across last night came across documents of people saying I was there. I saw that police report was filed, all that extra shit. So the camp got upset that, that I went on Facebook and said, like a security, Marshall security guard assaulted me and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what did you do? People are nasty. And so it got legal. And so they had to like withdraw whatever cease and desist they was trying to do because it didn't make fucking sense. I'm so sorry. It didn't make goddamn sense because
That's why you like that, girl. Go ahead.
because he was saying hi, he don't know who I am, he's never met me. And so then when my attorney then forwards the picture of us together with him hugging me and pointing to jayblessed.com as the media sponsor for Machel Montano at the Nokia Beach Theater in Long Island, like, how can you say you don't know this woman? You don't know she? I mean, you don't know she? Okay. It was just terrible. But we in our own little way had a kumbaya some years later. I saw him in Miami and he looked at me, he nodded, and I nodded. I'm like, we cool? He was like, yeah, we cool. And I'm like, all right, let me take a picture just to like show people that, we cool. And we did. We took a picture to immortalize the moment because, people were like, all pro Machel. Machel could do no wrong. Listen to me. Anybody could do wrong. And don't hold nobody in such a high esteem that you think they're not out here doing nonsense and they're not grimy out here. Okay. But we cool.
Nice. And that's what I like. I like the end result to be where, we are, it comes out to be in a positive light. Because, I think in this terms, everything should be about, I like to push positive vibes. But I know that that's not how the world is all made up of. Positive is positive and negative. You feel what I'm saying? And in this type of field of the social media, when you're a celebrity, when you're on the platforms like you and I are, no matter what you do, somebody gonna have something to say. It don't matter. You can't please.
Pick a number and wait in line. Pick a number and wait in line. Like pick a number and wait in line. Like if what you're saying is not edifying me, and a lot of people like this. I've heard this so much. It's so aggravating. Oh, all she does right is backing off. First of all you does read is backing off. Because there's so much wealth of information on that website that if you wanted to be really, really like grounded and really get, really be informed, you could be informed if you read the website. And now if you listen to the podcast, right? So you can tell. And sometimes I've had to do that. I've had to use the element of sensationalism to pull them in, to give them the real message. Because our people are just so conditioned. They're conditioned to just jump to drama, but not jump to a call to action to go vote. Jump to action to love your neighbor. Jump to action to take care of your elders. They don't jump to that. They don't jump to action to go to your children PTA meeting. They don't jump to that. But they jump to, oh, good, you hear what happened to Sheila? We found out. I hear how, like I heard today, someone called me and said after my big Juve story last week, which was someone called me today, a community figure, and said, I had a call with the DJ who was telling me he wanted me to repost his flyer for an upcoming party. So they called him and said, wait, you doing a party? Did you read Jayblessed's story about the Juve Fed the other day? He was like, yeah, I read it, but she have a reputation in the community. And they were like, hold up. She have what kind of reputation does she have? People say how, she don't do nothing for carrying people. She just down carrying people. And the person was like, wait, first of all, Jamie, because I know she personally, that's not who she is. Do you know her? Have you met her? Have you interacted with her? I mean, have you ever gone on her website? Have you ever listened to her podcast? Have you seen her? Have you ever been to any events that she's done? Like, they're like, nah. So they were like, so what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You bringing hearsay? They're like, pick sense out of nonsense. Did you read the article she wrote? Because it's saying, she called out this one, she called that one. Yeah, they needed to be called out. But did you read the article? Do you think it makes sense? And they're asking him, do you think it makes sense to be having a Juve Fed during a pandemic? And now you're telling me you need me to reshare a flyer for your party? And they were like, how many people? He's like 400. And they're like, 400 people. The mayor of New York said 50 is a max. He's like, well, I thought it was 150. They were like, well, even if it was 150, you selling 400 tickets? Does that make sense? Make it make sense, yo. Make it make sense. And this is how we keep ourselves back. But when I say something is, I can't. Let somebody else say it and they'll be in agreement with it. I'll just say that. Let somebody else say it. Maybe we need to have Machel say these things.
Mm.
Wow. Thank you. The story on Tony Cross. We could talk about that too.
Yeah,
And
child, yes,
I'm
but I
calling on
thought
all the DJs out here, all the promoters, all the people who call themselves cultural ambassadors, especially the men in the community, because you guys have an onus to protect us. You have an onus to take care of the community, and you are not. You're jumping from woman to woman to woman, having children and leaving those women broken, and you're not seeing how that really affects the community at large. All right. But I'm calling out all these men, and I call them by name. And if they have a problem, be froggy, because it's not bacchanal, it's fact. I can back it up. Right. So I know a lot of people are afraid because they ain't gonna say nothing. They're gonna send their minions. But I wish you would. Yeah, no, that Tony Cross shit was real. Like, men are out here grabbing women by the pussy. Men are out here still drugging women in this scene, drugging them and raping them. That's a thing. It still happens. Men are out here violently beating their partners. Men are out here like that security guard did to me. He didn't know me, and I was so dumbfounded. I started to fight back. I'm like, not even my husband puts his hands on me. Who the hell you think you ought to put your hand? Why would I not fight back? I look like some sort of like chupity or bubbly or something. You think you go like shut back and hit me, and I go just pull on you.
Yeah.
And so you get vilified as a victim for fighting back and defending yourself. So all of them, if all in all y'all been doing some dumb, crazy nonsense in this community, especially in this Brooklyn community, I implore you to atone for the wrong you've been doing. Men and women.
True.
Men and women. Because it's not going to just have an effect on the community. It's going to have effect on your children and your generations to come.
That is true. That is true. I know you're a big advocate for the mental health, because I know that you have been through that personally and having that breakdown in your personal, you're dealing with it personally. Now, within the time that you were going through that mental health situation, how did you think it affected your family? Like, at that point, how did you think it affected your daughter and your husband? Because when we're going through things like mental health, I don't think we are ever look at realizing how it's hurting and affecting other people. Because
That's a good
mental health
question.
is something that's real out here, and we see how it affects people. Like, we see, how bipolar, different forms of mental health. And when you were going through that, when you realized, how did you think at that point it affected your family, especially your daughter?
So mental health is the absence of mental illness. So there are differences to all of this, right? There's mental illness, and mental illness, there are various forms of mental illnesses, from very, very, like, in the simplest form. One of my doctors came on the podcast to talk about mental illness being like liking it to diabetes. Some people can have diabetes, and all they need to do to alleviate that physical illness is to eat right.
Yes.
Now, some people have such an acute problem that they actually have to take insulin. Some people are right in the middle, that all they need to do is eat right and exercise, right? And monitor their weight, right? And the same thing with mental health. There's a wide spectrum of different types of mental illnesses. And it's not how I overcame it. I think I live with mental health issues, right? I think we all do, and some people do not want to acknowledge it. As long as you have a brain and you're using that every day, and you can feel, then you will have you may not have it, you may not struggle or battle with it every day, but it will flare up on an occasion during the season, and then you'll have to deal with that. This is a matter of our daily life. I had to be really, really self-aware, so much so that I asked for a divorce because I felt like my ex-husband deserved someone better than me, because I needed to heal myself. And he's an amazing person. So some people think, what happened? Did he do this? Did he do that? Did he do that? And they can't understand that some adults can actually have a happy uncoupling. right?
Mm.
And from just in the aspect of husband to wife, I felt that it was imperative of me to free him so that I can heal myself, because I couldn't take care of another human being while I'm struggling to like figure out my own mind. I had a daughter at 19. Like I married at 25. I never really got to be like a young woman and explore that. And then from just dealing with my daughter, I've seen a lot of instances too where I saw parts of my mother, who was very abusive, show up. And though I don't like beat my child, I'll get so angry and so frustrated that I would see parts of my mom. And I had to take stock of that and really atone to my child and apologize to my child. And Caribbean parents do not know how to apologize to their children. They don't know how to do that. I had to have a sit down with her and talk about, mommy's struggles and where they stem from. Tell her about my childhood. Tell her about the things I had to overcome, and ask her to extend some grace to me as I try to learn how to do this motherhood thing from a healthier perspective, a healthier way, because I wasn't raised I wasn't raised out of love. I was raised out of survival.
Mm.
Right. And so I've seen, how my life has transformed. I have a great relationship with my daughter. I have a great relationship with my former partner in love. Like, I'm grateful for that. And it takes a whole lot of honesty to pull yourself out and say, you deserve better than me in this moment. And if things get better and we are meant to be, we can come back. And to also atone to your kids and have these conversations with your children. Like talk to them about, okay, let's talk about, grandma and great grandma. Let's talk about the lineage, and have them under. These kids are smart, yo. They're so smart, and they're dealing with a lot of their own mental health issues as teenagers, navigating their hormones, going to school. High school is crazy. It's a lot. We got to show up for them, and we got to lead by example.
Yes, and I totally agree. Now, I know when you took your break, you came back. You recently came back, and it's like what, a year now?
2 years.
2 years now. You came back. What drove you? What made you decide? Well, because I know you've been through ups and downs, negative, positive. We've been through the breakdown, but what made you? What strength? Where did you pull that strength from? Or that was there a restoration? Jay, was that like a renewed Jay, a spiritual Jay? Was it like what I'm saying, an upliftment Jay that said, okay, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it in a this way now? What was different then to what's different now?
Healing. Healing. And when you're healed, you see things differently. When you're healed, you can actually see the symptoms of sickness in other people because you know what that looks like.
Okay.
Right? And when you're truly healed, when you really, really, truly heal, you want other people to experience that healing, right? You want them to find that light, that peace, that joy, that freedom. And it's not a destination. It's a daily journey. Okay. Healing is not a destination. Every day we're healing. And every day something else is happening. Somebody died today. Somebody dying next week. I lose my job a year from now. Something else is always happening where you have to do your own self-restoration. Every day is healing. It is not a destination. And healing is also not linear. It's not this straight line of going to healing. It's some days in my healing journey, I'm so happy I could conquer the world. And other days I am so low, I feel like I'm regressing, but I'm not. Right. And I felt like, first of all, this is my platform. I took the break. I did this on my terms. Ain't nobody run me from nothing. No one has that power. And I just want to make this very, very clear. No one has ever had any power to do me anything or cause me to do any. I have the most power. I've always known this since I was a child. Nobody outside could do me anything or say anything to me that could just drive me to just lose it. My greatest enemy has always been myself. And over the years, I've learned to conquer the thoughts I have in my mind, the things I say to myself, right? They can't do me nothing is what I do into myself. That has the most impact, whether good or negative. And so I needed that chance to find my way, And I've always been passionate about my Caribbean people, my Caribbean culture, being a Trinidadian. I came here like I'm proud. I'm proud of my Caribbean ancestry. And so I wanted to reinvent. And so I did. I reinvented and I reimagined what storytelling would be like on the website. So it's no longer the number one source for Caribbean entertainment news and gossip. Now it's a home of a human experience from a Caribbean perspective.
Right.
And I've talked about everything from incest, things you don't want to talk about, suicide. I've even did a story. I don't know why it's trending all of a sudden now that we need to stop posting videos of little girls whining, right? Like we need to stop doing that. We need to stop encouraging little girls to go sit on this one lap. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop having them call everybody uncle, Mr. That's respectful, but everybody's not your uncle, because if I'm calling someone my uncle, there's a certain level of trust. I believe, I'm growing up to believe that this person is family. And some of these people are not family, and you need to keep them away from your girl child and your boy child. We need to talk about, sexual abuses in the Caribbean society. We need to talk about, incest. We need to talk about rape. We need to talk about, domestic violence, intimate partner violence. We need to talk about having multiple children with multiple women and having multiple families and how that affects a whole generation. We need to talk about that. We need to talk about what did Granny really die from? We need to go back into our history, find out, do you know who your great grandmother's name is? Do you know where she came from? You just hear she from St. Vincent, but do you know? A lot of times people know everything else but their own business. So I am trying my best, one story at a time, in trying to reshape and recondition how we look at life and helping us unlearn to learn. We've really like lost our way, and as I have, everyone has their own path to enlightenment if they choose.
If they choose, yes, that is true. That is true. Is if they choose, that is true.
And
If
so
they
I'm just doing my part, each one teach one. And
want
when
that,
you heal, heal people, heal people. They always say hurt people, hurt people. Well, flip it. Heal people, heal people.
that is true. And I think you're doing that. I know we see, Queen, that you're doing a wonderful job. And I'm glad that you're back out. You're doing your thing like a boss.
I like it. I saw what you did there. I'm going to blog up the place. How about that?
I'm just saying, because this is what it is. This is why I love this night chat, because you get to say, and I say, girl, let me just I finish my wine. You already know.
This one going on blog up the place. We gotta know how to separate talent from character.
Just that's it. That's all it is. And but before I have you leave, I want you to tell me one little thing. Your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You have one child in this world.
I have a few children, but I gave birth to one.
As we all do. How has motherhood been for you? Like, with everything with your career and blogging, how is that motherhood now that you're back? Do you have a balance, a more sense of balance in your life with what you're doing now?
I think that's always that's a question that most people, especially women, get asked. What's the work-life balance? Men don't really get that question,
No, because they don't. Yeah.
They just do. So I'm just gonna exude masculine energy right now. I just get shit done. You understand? We're talking about balance. We go, every day is a different balance. We never ask men, because most of all, they're not even dealing with matters of home. All that falls on a woman, right? Like most of the time. As she gets older, our relationship has always been strong. But as she gets older and we're able to talk about everything, I just did a Fox Soul interview and talking about WAP by Cardi B and Megan. We had a conversation, and I'm talking to her about the power of the WAP, because my daughter's 16. Let's not play. These teenagers, I remember myself at 16. Okay. And I didn't even have Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, none of that. We have a really, really strong relationship, and I'm grateful that God chose me to be her personal guide on her life's journey, because she is so phenomenal. She has saved my life in so many ways. I admire her. I see so much. I'm just like in awe of how not just brilliant she is, but how caring she is. And that reminds me, when I doubt myself, I look at her and be like, yo, you're doing a good job though. Big up yourself. You're talking about like that child is a blessing. She is my good fruit, as I always say. She is um just a beautiful spirit in human form. And I'm grateful that God has aligned her in my life's journey, because she has made me stronger and made me like stay in the game and made me do better, because she's watching and she's here. And so, yeah, pretty dope kid. Big up, Amy Blessed.
Big up, baby. Thank you so much, sweetie. Like, I could stay here all night, but girl, we gotta get this hot topic letter, honey, because they're gonna start DMing and inboxing like Cheryl. We gotta get to this hot topic. But you're gonna come back again, definitely, and you know
I
this.
will.
You know this, and I know your schedule is crazy busy, but now the ice is broken that you can say, Cheryl, like how you did today, I have time, I'm coming. I'm like, girl, let me switch this around because let me reschedule this because
Well, thank you for doing that. I know you've been trying for a couple of weeks now. So, yeah, I'm happy that you were able to do that.
schedules and people are busy and you're doing wonderful things, and keep pushing your positivity, keep on educating, keep on teaching. And like you said, each one teaches one. And that's what we do on the platforms that we are blessed with. And those of us who are blessed with, I call the gift of gab, that we can use it in a positive energy, in a positive light, and not be deferred or deterred from what it is that we do and how we do it. We do it unapologetic. And that's just how it is because we are strong like that. And that's just, no child, that's just me. I make no apologies for what it is. I say
Congratulations to
and I'm
you.
going to say, it's just that, and it's just that. It's
Yes.
that. I
And
am the
show up just
time.
like that, unapologetically, Cheryl. Thank you
Yeah,
for what you're
unapologetic.
doing in the community.
What you see is what you get. you know, and it's just that, yeah, I had time for the foolishness. So, it's because of the pushing, and I'm glad that you have platforms which I had scrolling where people can come on to your podcast, to your website, because I was on there as well, and the information there is really and truly is good information, and I'm glad that you have, you know, um, I should say, rejuvenate and what you said, healing in a different direction that you're taking. So this all comes with maturity. Understand that. You know what I'm saying? And with maturity, you are different. You think different. You eat different. You know what I'm saying? You dress different because you get into your whole different level, a whole different realm.
Facts. We,
And
we,
that
are,
is
we
what
are God energy right now. And I know a lot of people not going to understand that, but that's where I'm at
that,
right now. I'm
what I
God
just said.
energy.
Okay.
Carol, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
having
so
me
much.
on. You got exclusive, girl.
You get right here, and tomorrow is just that alone, and it's just that you got the exclusive right here on Night Chat with the Empress and the Queen, honey. Jayblessed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, honey, you can stick around and send your comments because it's the hot topic. Let's come in.
I'm gonna be in the comment section.
Yes, honey. Just in the comment section, honey. Well, thank you so much. Peace, love, and blessings. Mwah.